Okay, so one question I get a lot is how does distance healing work? And in many ways, distance healing is just like a face-to-face session. Uh, the only difference is we're working across time and space. We know from as old as Einstein, right? We are energy, vibration, frequency, time and space are relative. And in a distance healing, are doing exactly the same things. I'm simply working with a version of the person in front of me, but I'm actually doing the same things. The only difference really is I'm working here by feel, okay? Um, and other than that, it's identical to a face-to-face session. That's why people have the same reactions. They have the same registers. They'll have sometimes their limbs will jerk. They'll swallow. They'll feel heat and warmth and things, just as if we're face-to-face. In reconnective healing, when we're finding energy, we find it, refine it, and then stretch it. And when we stretch it, it gets stronger. And in distance healing, we are inherently working with stronger versions of those frequencies. People ask me, what does it feel like? Imagine that you had like a little bit of taffy in your hand, and you grabbed it and stretched it, okay? And you can feel that stretching, that warmth, that feedback. Very often I feel a density to the energy as soon as I start working, a lot of swirls of color. Sometimes I feel prickling electricity, depends on the person that I'm working with, and often they'll feel something similar at the same time, whatever they're going through. People ask, how is it you find me? It's not really like that. Again, we're frequency. So it's not a question of you want to listen to the radio station. Now, how do you find it? You tune to that frequency. And wherever you are, you're tuned into that frequency. So we typically start a distance healing session I'm talking to on the phone, and we're already tuned into each other's frequencies. So we already are connected in that way because we've tuned our attention there. It's no different really if you think of going to a party in a very crowded room. There's a lot of noise. And how is it you focus on what this person is saying or this person or so forth? It's where you put your attention. And when you put your attention, you pick up those things and you filter out other things. It's really quite similar to that. In a distance reconnection session, this is something where it's a little bit more complicated than that, where I actually have to visualize the person. And here I will actually work with a life-size person, going after and tracing all the points, all the lines, just as if we were in person. The feelings there for me are kind of a little bit different. There I'm working entirely by feel and feeling where the lines are and the points are, and I'll often like kind of feel in both places. A little bit of a shift there. But once again, the density to the energy, the colors, that kind of energetic feedback. After all, we are nothing but energy and frequency and vibration. Time and space are simply relative phenomena, and we are working at that energetic level. Okay, so Carol, you just had a distance healing session earlier this week, and can you share, if you would, how that went for you, how you felt, what happened afterwards?
Certainly. I had the session on a Monday morning, and almost immediately after that, I had to drive to Ithaca and take a tour of the Cornell campus with my grandson. And I noticed as I was walking that my entire neck felt a lot looser than it had earlier. And then 2 days later, when I went to see my chiropractor, he checked out my neck because it always needs adjusting. And he said, there's something different here. He said, your C1 vertebrae is not protruding on the left side the way it has since I've been seeing you right after your automobile accident. He said, this is pretty amazing. And then he took my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was right down in the normal range, which I was very pleased with, very pleased. So overall, it was a wonderful experience, and I continue to look for additional changes.
That's awesome, Carol. I'm glad. Thank
So
you.
am I. Thank you.